Coming up, we'll tell you what winter shoes are deemed the best, and later we'll give you some tips on how to survive finals week.
The Hawkeyes had a tough test in Hilton last night. See how they fared later in sports.
I know Iowa students will be stuck inside this weekend preparing for final exams, but it might be for the best. Stay tuned for weather to hear about the upcoming dip in temperatures.
All that and more coming up on this Friday morning edition of DITV News. Don't go anywhere. DITV News starts right now. Good morning and thank you for tuning in. I'm John Chenoweth. With the holidays just around the corner, now would be a great time to gift your friends and family with a new pair of winter boots. But what is the best boots to buy? Bailey has the answer.
Iowa City has had an early taste of winter this year, prompting a parade of winter boots across campus. But what makes the perfect snow boot?
I would say what I would look for in a winter boot is probably obviously comfortability. If I'm going to be walking a mile in downtown Iowa City or wherever I'm walking, comfortability, and also general winter bootiness, so that it actually makes steps through the snow and I don't get my feet all cold.
I think the Sperry ones are nice because they're waterproof, but they're pretty ugly. But I still wear them because they're functional.
Well, I guess the boots that I have on right now are sorrel boots. So I like these boots because they're incredibly warm, which is great. So my feet never get cold throughout the day. And then also for traction, it's great walking around on campus. I'm not sliding around anywhere. And I'm always walking places throughout the day. So that's really nice.
But not everyone has jumped on the winter boot bandwagon just yet.
I try to save them for when it's actually snowing, and then the rest of the time I wear sneakers. I know it drives my mom insane. She's just like, it's winter, why are you wearing winter boots? But yeah, so I wear sneakers, and then I also have some heavy Oxfords that I wear.
What brands do your friends wear?
Either something like UGG, or they don't even try to wear the boots. They just kind of make do with their tennis shoes.
At the University of Iowa for Daily Iowan TV, I'm Bailey Chihan.
Yesterday we had some surprisingly good weather. I did not have to wear any boots, and I'm just hoping that Bailey in the weather studio can give us some more good news on the weather to come. Bailey?
Well, John, I also enjoyed yesterday's weather when I was making that package, but thankfully today looks like a continuation of that. Temperatures will reach a high of 40, not too bad considering what's ahead, with partly cloudy skies today. Temperatures will drop to 23 tonight, and I think today is a perfect day to hang out outside before hitting the books this weekend. As you can see, we have some ickier, colder weather headed our way in the next couple of days. Of course, Mother Nature stops playing nice before students head home for winter break. It always happens that way, doesn't it? Saturday, temperatures will reach a high of 26 and a low of 9. Expect partly cloudy skies. Saturday would be a great day to spend in the library. Looking ahead to Sunday, temperatures stay about the same as Saturday with a high of 24 and a low of 19. Monday warms up, but that won't come without a 40% chance of snow. Expect a high of 30 and a low of 16. And finally, Tuesday, skies will go back to partly cloudy with a high of 32 and a low of 8. I know this forecast seems disappointing, but I know I'll be missing these temperatures when I go back home to Wisconsin later this week. Brr. Back to you, John.
Thank you, Bailey. Finals week is just a weekend away, meaning that stress levels are running high. Students often forget to take care of themselves during this trying time. We have a DITV reporter, Grace Aldrin, in the newsroom to tell us how to de-stress and practice self-care during one of the worst weeks at college. Grace, what is the university providing for students to help keep stress levels at a minimum?
Starting last week, the Stanley Campus Council hosted Self-Care with the Stanley, where students could come in and enjoy some free food and distress before finals. And this week, at the IMU, there's a bunch of events that students can try, starting on Monday with the pancake breakfast in the IMU main lounge from 6:30 to 10:30. And later in the week, there's a bunch of fun activities like trying yoga, getting to spend time with therapy dogs, and of course, free food.
And what can students do individually to care for themselves?
Well, finals week is a really stressful time, and everyone has their own way to get through it, but some really good ideas are to take some time this weekend to study for finals that are starting on Monday, get a good night's sleep every night, that's kind of hard, and see what the university can do to help you de-stress in this time.
Thank you, Grace. Make sure to take care of yourself during finals week. In sports, we're going to be talking about some bowl games and Iowa men's basketball. Let's start it off and toss over sports right now.
Thanks, John. Last night, the Iowa men's basketball team traveled to Hilton Coliseum to take on the Iowa State Cyclones and cruise to an easy 84-68 win. Here's what the team had to say.
Loose here, really. And we came in and we pretty much dominated the game for 38 minutes. I mean, we really did. You know, they had that one run to start the second half, but other than that, you know, that was all us. I think we had a really good game plan. I think we executed it very well. You know, holding an offensive team like that to 68 points. I think you see our defensive intensity sticking through the game for more and more minutes every time we come out. And that's something we're going to continue to work on. But, you know, the more defense that we can play throughout the game, the better we're going to be, because we're going to score. We're scoring anyone. It really doesn't matter. So, you know, just the better defense we can play, I think, that's why we won this game.
It makes the rivalry so great, like stuff like that. I mean, George Niang blowing kisses to a crowd at Iowa. You just can go on and on, what these players did. I mean, there's light trash talk between me and George Niang on Twitter last night. And it is all good fun. Like I respect George Niang a lot, and hopefully he respects us a little more after tonight. But you know, that was just something just to get them a little while up. I'm always about trolling. I'm always about getting a lot of little stuff stirred up a little about that. So that's something I said to my teammates I was going to do if we pulled out a win tonight.
However, the big storyline now surrounding the Iowa basketball team is the status of Jordan Bohannon. He has now played 10 games for the Hawkeyes, and his time has come to make a final decision on the rest of the season. Men's basketball reporter Lucy Rodine has more from Hilton.
But after Iowa beat Iowa State, the biggest question is not whether Jordan Bohannon got his shoes back, but whether he's played his last game this season. Bohannon came in with a hip injury and has been playing at about 75% the entire year, so it's been up to him whether he redshirts or not. The NCAA requires that if you do take a medical redshirt, you play in less than 30% of the season, which is the 10-game point which Bohannon reached against Iowa State. Fran McCaffrey said they'll just talk it over, decide what they're going to do, and announce it soon. Hopefully J-Bo decides not to do it via his Instagram story, just like he did with shaving his beard. But in my opinion, I think we've seen Bohannon play his last game this year. Reporting from Hilton Coliseum in Ames, Iowa, Lucy Rodine, DITV Sports.
The Hawkeyes are off for finals week before heading to Chicago to take on the Cincinnati Bearcats on December 21st. Now, moving from the court to the field, bowl season is right around the corner. Next week, we will break down the Holiday Bowl between Iowa and USC, but today, I will give you a brief breakdown of the top Big Ten bowl games. Ohio State has made their way to the college football playoff as the number 2 seed, facing off against Clemson. The Buckeyes' high-powered offense should be enough to get that win. Minnesota is in the Outback Bowl against Auburn after the Tigers upset Alabama. It's hard to pick against them in this game. Alabama and Michigan square off in the Citrus Bowl. And let's be honest, if Jim Harbaugh can't beat Ohio State, then there's no way he can beat a team coached by Nick Saban. And finally, Penn State takes on Memphis in the Cotton Bowl. Memphis has had a surprisingly good year, and Penn State has been down a bit. I still like Penn State in this game. And just like that, my time is up. Come back after the weekend for the final DITV newscast of the semester. John, back to you.
Thanks, Maddie. 'Tis the season for ugly Christmas sweaters, and Alaska Airlines is feeling the holiday spirit. The company says anyone wearing a holiday sweater will be given priority boarding on Friday, December 20th. And that's National Ugly Sweater Day. But the airline says any kind of holiday sweater will do. Alaska Airlines has been offering priority boarding to customers who wear Christmas sweaters for 3 years in a row. And they are doing it again this year. I don't have any ugly sweaters, so I think I should probably go and get one, but that's all we have for you on this Friday morning edition of DITV News. Be sure to head over to dailyiowan.com for all your latest news between Monday and Friday. If that isn't enough of the Daily Iowan for you, be sure to check out our print edition on stands now. For DITV News, I'm John Chenoweth. Have a great day, Iowa City.